This book is called The Christmas Tree Book, and it's by Tomie dePaola. Now, we've read some books by Tomie dePaola before, and this book is similar but a little different. It's not about Italy or about Stregonona. It's all about Christmas trees, and there will be some facts in here to help us learn. Hey, Mom and Dad, how did Christmas trees get started? Yeah, who invented the first one? Well, no one's exactly sure who invented the first one, but decorated trees and branches at Christmas time have been around for a long, long time. In the Middle Ages, December 24th was called Adam and Eve's Day, and on that day, a play was put on in front of a church. Evergreen branches with apples on them were part of that play, and they represented a tree of paradise. I guess people liked the bright green branches because when the medieval plays were no longer performed, people brought in the evergreens and small firs into their home. Especially in Germany, they put not only apples on the trees but also paper roses and flat wafers. The apples represented Adam and Eve, the roses, the Virgin Mary, and the wafers, the Christ child. The trees were called Christbaum. Dad and I read that Germany, they had other Christmas things too. One was called a pyramid. It was made out of wood and was decorated with branches and candles. Another was a Lichtstock, and it was a flat triangle-shaped rack just for candles. Right. Lots of German people had either a pyramid or a Lichtstock or a Christmas baum standing side by side in the same room. And finally, the candles were moved from the pyramid to the tree. Of course, the old-time trees were small and put on tables. And it wasn't until the Christmas tree came to America that it reached from the floor to the ceiling. Well, when did Christmas trees come to America? Well, the first trees known about were decorated in 1747 by a group of people from Germany called the Moravians. They lived in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. Little by little, as more German people moved to America, there were more Christmas trees. Other people borrowed the custom, and by the 1800s, many magazines had articles about them. Famous people had Christmas trees too. In England, Queen Victoria's German husband, Prince Albert, helped make them popular. He gave decorated trees to schools and army barracks. And at the palace, there was a separate tree for each of the young prince and princesses. Teddy Roosevelt decided not to have a Christmas tree one year because he was worried that too many trees were getting cut down. His son Archie was so disappointed that he decorated his own tree and hid it in a closet. Of course, Christmas trees aren't cut down from forest anymore. Now they're grown on farms, like the one we went to, as a special crop. And by the 1930s, Christmas trees became really popular. And now, everywhere you look at Christmas time, you'll see Christmas trees. Look, Grandma, how beautiful. I have the Christmas tree stand all ready. You know, when I was a little girl, we didn't have a Christmas tree stand, and even though they were being made, they were very expensive. So my father used to nail wood to the bottom of the tree. Once we used my mother's flat irons to hold up the tree. So you see they're having to weigh it down at the bottom to keep it standing up. But the trees always got very dry, so one Christmas we filled a wash tub with coal and put the tree in the middle of it and added some water. I remember that we had to pile bricks on the coal so that it wouldn't fall over. My mother's rich Aunt Carla had a Christmas tree stand, and there was a music box. As the music played, the tree went around. Okay, let's test the lights. Did you know that the first lights on a Christmas tree were real candles? There's a nice legend about a man named Martin Luther who was out walking on Christmas Eve and he saw a fir tree on a hill surrounded by stars. It was so beautiful that he decided to surprise his family with a special Christmas tree. So he put candles on the branches and lit them. The tree looked like it was filled with stars. Grandma, did you have a tree with real candles on it? Yes, indeed. Real candles were so pretty, but they could only be lit for a short time because they were also very dangerous. The first electric lights were used in 1882. They were on a tree at the home of Edward Johnson. He was a friend of Thomas Edison, the man who invented the light bulb. In 1895, Grover Cleveland was the first president to use electric lights on the tree in the White House, and each bulb had to be wired separately to the tree. A string of lights wasn't invented until 1907. Now there are all kinds of Christmas tree lights, little ones that glitter like stars, lights that blink on and off, lights that bubble, and lights that look just like candles. How come you put on the lights first, Dad? Well, that's because it's easier to move them around before the ornaments go on. And here are all of our ornaments. Mom, our teacher told us that once people had to make all their own ornaments. They wrapped up nuts in pretty paper and used ribbons and cookies and stuff like that. We make some of our own ornaments. Yes, and we even have some old ornaments that belong to your great-grandparents. There are tin ones and cotton ones, wax ones, spun glass and paper ones, and these beautiful glass ones. Did you know that almost all glass ornaments used to come from one village in Germany called Lucia? They were all made by hand. American businessmen, including Mr. Woolsworth, began importing them, and then by 1930, 95% of all glass ornaments hanging on American Christmas trees came from this one village. It wasn't until 1939 that glass ornaments were made in America. Could somebody hand me the star? Why do we put a star on the top of the tree, Grandma? Our family uses a star to remind them of Bethlehem. There are so many ways to decorate a Christmas tree. The main thing is that every family's Christmas tree is special to that family. Ready? The end.